Here's the view of our network panel. You can drill into the WebSockets and see all the WebSockets that were created on this page. We're really excited about this because you can see the WebSocket that was opened, which URL, and not only that, you can see the messages. You can see the timestamps when they happened. You can filter by regex. You can filter by the type of message direction. So we can see the sent messages, the received messages. You can pretty print these by clicking on any of the rows. And if you need to, you can copy it with this button. You can see the length of each message. It's awesome that we can finally capture WebSockets. I know a lot of people have been asking for it, and WebSockets are like a big part of their application. So having this just makes things a lot easier for debugging.
WebSockets are one of the most useful pieces of state in a lot of web apps. Right now, we're recording this on Riverside. I bet you if you open up Riverside's DevTools right now and look at the network requests, I bet that there are WebSockets going on right now. I think it's pretty important to be able to debug for developers.
Without this feature of being able to capture the WebSocket traffic, there's a whole class of web applications, like real-time web applications, that can't really understand what's happening. And now that they can share this with other people, like it really gives them a lot more insight on what's happening over the network.
Yeah, WebSockets are different than any normal kind of request though, right, Preston?
What first happens is if a request is made, the browser will recognize it's either WS, which is WebSocket, or WSS, which is WebSocket secured. So it's similar to like HTTPS. It's encrypted by SSL. But what you first do is make a request with the WSS or WS protocol, and you send a header connection upgrade. And what that does is it tells the server that you want to upgrade this to a persistent connection, a persistent WebSocket connection. Then it establishes that TCP connection and keeps it alive so that you can send bidirectional data without having to do the whole like handshaking process over and over. So WebSockets are very important if you want fast real-time communication. Doing older techniques like long polling are a lot slower and a lot more inefficient. So yeah, modern real-time applications are very driven by WebSockets.
What were some of the difficult parts about capturing WebSockets?
Something that we realized early on was we didn't actually have a good sense of what happens when we're trying to collect all this event data from the time we capture it, store it, and aggregate it, all the way up to where we upload it and persist it with your jam data. All that was like tribal knowledge that was inside of our like heads. And when we needed to think about the architecture, something we realized was it would really help if we had this documented somewhere that we could refer to in like our whiteboarding meetings. So we were trying to rethink how we do this. And something we did is we started outlining what the current flow looked like. Another thing that Cyrus and I discussed early on was trying to design a way to abstract how the events are stored. And we thought of this as an ETL pipeline. Like the core object is some kind of event, and that event is like a structured JSON object, and it takes on different forms. Some events will represent a snapshot of the DOM, some will be a network request, some might represent some kind of custom event that we invent, and we take those kinds of events and do some kind of post-processing. So a pipeline is how we designed our interfaces. And now we basically took the idea that if we have these simple interfaces, we're basically building Lego blocks, and we can plug and replace pieces of the pipeline as we need. Let us know if there are any other sort of like protocols you want to see captured. Let us know what features or functionality you'd like to see to make your debugging life easier.
We hope your web apps aren't buggy and you're not benefiting from this WebSocket debugging tool. But if there are any feature requests you'd love to see, please feel free to email us at hello@jam.dev. We hope it helps.